Well, you just heard President Obama speak longer than anybody expected him to, and I think longer than he expected to.
What would you call it?
Got on a roll there.
Well,
it was fascinating. I think he did a lot to try and cool off what has become a very heated situation. Wasn't going to tolerate booing of the governor there early on.
That's right.
And said that you need to know that the kids of Flint are going to be fine as long as they are treated and get the support that they need.
And not only that, he brought a bipartisan collective group together. He brought the mayor of Flint with the governor of Michigan, and he said he wouldn't let them out of the beast until they could come to some kind of resolution on how they were going to address this problem, working together.
With the help of the Secret Service.
And wait a second, and then gave credit to a young girl, Mari Copley, is that her name? 8 years old in Flint.
Little Miss Flint.
Little Miss Flint, who wrote him a letter and said, "Mr. President, we need your help."
Spoke,
and here you see him.
Hank Winchester was telling me there was, in fact, a teleprompter at the president's disposal, but clearly he was going off script early and often in an address that he clearly seemed to enjoy. And never has a president asking for a glass of water during the middle of a speech carried as much subtext or taken so long, for that matter. So a whirlwind trip to Flint for the president, just about to wrap up. We will get to Bishop Airport just as soon as the president gets there. Air Force One will be taking off from there as soon as he makes his way.
That's right. We should tell you he was only on the ground for about 5 hours today, but every minute of his time was spent seeing what the people of Flint are dealing with on a daily basis, and you can tell he really cared about that.
Which included drinking a glass of filtered Flint tap water to try to help prove that progress is being made towards a fix.
Well, our consumer investigator Hank Winchester has been following the president around town today. He joined us now live, and Hank, it was a very big day there in Flint.
Carmen, it certainly was. It was a huge day in Flint, especially for the people who've been dealing with this crisis for almost 2 years now. The president talking for almost 50 minutes. He had a teleprompter, but clearly went off script a few times. The moment that drew the biggest applause from the audience, when the president simply asked for a glass of water. And then he raised that glass of filtered water from Flint and drank it here before the crowd. This was an opportunity for the president to lay out the plan for the future, a future that involves solving the crisis right here in Flint. Air Force One touched down at Flint Bishop at 11:42 Wednesday morning. The president met by the governor and the mayor of Flint. First stop, the food bank of Eastern Michigan. It's here, we're told, where the president learned about the nutrition and education programs available for Flint children. It's right here, though, at Flint's Northwestern High School, where the president will get to mix with the people.
Hello, Flint!
An enthusiastic crowd of about 1,000, a mix of students and also those who are struggling in Flint.
Can I get some water?
The president revealing more needs to be done to help Flint, and today a big announcement, $10 million to go to 10 different health centers in the state.
I will not rest, and I'm going to make sure that the leaders at every level of government don't rest until every drop of water that flows to your homes is safe to drink and safe to cook with and safe to bathe in.
The purpose of this trip, searching for solutions, determining what can be done to end the crisis.
It's not going to happen overnight, but we have to get started. We have to get the money flowing. We've got to work with our plumbers and pipe fitters, but also train local residents and start getting apprenticeship programs going.
Outside of the high school, fed up Flint families who gathered hoping to get the president's attention.
And that we're going to continue to let our voices be heard, and so we can get let President Obama know that we need urgency in our city. We need our pipes fixed.
The president making his way to Flint after receiving a letter from this 8-year-old girl, Mari Copley, known as Little Miss Flint. Today, they met, and today this little girl was able to personally ask the president to help fix Flint. This was a big day for the mayor of Flint, who's been working to try to get the president to come here since this crisis started. A big day for Senator Stabenow, Congressman Kildee. Most importantly, it was a huge day for the people of Flint. I spoke to one man as the speech was wrapping. I said, "What did you think about the president's comments?" He said, "I'm just thankful that the president is here listening to the problems that we are facing. One person, though, that clearly did not have a great day here, well, it was Governor Rick Snyder. You'll see the video at 6 o'clock. As he addressed the crowd, he was met with very loud boos. And let me show you the stage here behind me. You can see there where the president was speaking. The governor was seated about 6 rows back, sitting far away from all the Democratic leadership here that have been working to deal with the problems here in Flint. But the governor did get a lot of time today with the president, releasing a statement saying that he is looking forward to working closely with the president and Democratic leaders to solve the problems here in this community. We'll have much more for you new tonight at 6 o'clock. For now, we are live here in Flint. Hank Winchester, back to you.
Yes, and certainly it sounds like everybody heard what they needed to hear today, and especially when the president, thank you, Hank, calmed the audience when they started booing. Yeah. Governor Snyder, and he says, no, we're not going to have any of that. But there's another side to this story. In fact, a plea deal has been reached for the first Flint city official to be charged in connection with the water crisis.
Today, Michael Glasgow went in front of a judge. This was for the first time since those charges were announced against him, and he pleaded no contest to a charge of willful neglect of duty. That was while working as the water treatment plant operator. As part of this plea deal, the charge of tampering with evidence, which was a felony, is going to be dismissed. Now, the judge, however, still has to accept the plea deal, and that she has until August to do.